Do you ever have a large quantity of beads of something that you just really love and you just want a big long necklace like the one that I have on that you can wear doubled? Or let me show you here. You could wear it singled but then tie a knot and kind of get that flapper look. Actually, this one is so long that I would probably tie 2 knots to kind of use up some of that length. And then that would be a nice long necklace. Love that look. I've always loved a knotted necklace. Voila, like that. That is laying nicely. I do. Well, you know, I love beads, and I've got a couple of beads. So this particular necklace is created from one of my custom bead mixes that I made. And I thought that I had sold out of them, and I found another box, so I have more of this mix for a short amount of time. I will always have some bead mixes on the website, but the primary vendor that I bought all of my bead mixes from has gone out of business. He's closed down. So right this second, as I'm filming this, I have over 50 mixes. Realistically, that's going to go down to probably 8 to 10 mixes that I will try to keep in stock at any given time. So right now is your best bet for getting a large quantity of a color coordinated bead mix. For this particular necklace, I used 2 packages of the bead mixes. So they come in, it's a 3-inch by 3-inch baggie. And this one, I've already used some of the beads out of this particular mix, so it's a little bit more full than this. So I used 2 mixes for this. I did stretch it a little bit by using some seed beads in here. So there is a seed bead between each one. And I also stretched it a little bit more. I threw some crystals in it. So some of the 4mm Preciosa crystals. With beads this large, you could even get away with 6mm crystals, or use some metal spacer beads or whatever other beads that you have with you. This necklace here is the same thing. I just happen to have it wrapped 4 times around this necklace bust. But this is another one of the custom bead mixes that I have. And so the 2 colors that I wear most often are purple and teal, or blues, those oceany colors. So that's why I thought these 2 mixes would be perfect for me to have these necklaces, because they're going to go with 90% of my wardrobe. And I didn't want to deal with having a clasp. So I wanted to show you how to make a necklace like this. Super easy. I mean, we just sat there. This was actually a family project. My mother actually strung this one, and my niece, who is 15, sat and strung this particular one. And now I have a pearl, using some Trek pearls, one for us to put together. And so those have now been all strung also. So let me bring it into the board and let me show you what materials you're going to need to make a continuous necklace like this. So first thing is, you're going to want to use beading wire, not beading thread, not fire line. The reason is all of these beads are going to be really heavy. And so a fire line, a 1G, any of those things are going to stretch out because of the weight of the beads. You have to use a beading wire to do this. And what I'm using is, we carry the Softflex brand, the 0.019 diameter. This is what is considered a medium diameter, and it's what I like to use for necklaces. They do have smaller diameters for beads that have smaller holes. And of course, when you lose diameter, you also lose a little bit of strength. So that's why I always want to use the strongest beading wire that I can for strength purposes. They also create a 0.024 for really big or much bigger beads or much heavier beads. I personally rarely use that. This and the 0.014, which is the smaller size, are the 2 that I use the most. So beading wire, you're going to need 1 crimp. So I use a 2x2 crimp, and so you only need 1 for this particular project. You're going to need beads, of course. So in this case, I'm just kind of showing you, we carry pre-made bead mixes, but and you'll want, if you're going to make one this long, that you're going to want 2 of these. You can throw in, like I said, crystals, spacers, whatever leftover beads you have from other projects. You know, you just let your imagination drive you. So let me get those off to the side. And then you're going to want a wire cutter to cut your beading wire, and then, which I've already done, so I'm going to put that to the side, and then a crimping plier. And that is really it. That's all you really need for this project. Now, I did use these bead bug bead stoppers to keep the beads from coming off the beading wire while I was stringing all of these pearls. This is a mixture of some of our check pearls that I carry, and so it's just some pretty colors that I put together. And so I've got the bead bug on both ends. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove that. You just pinch these 2 ends together, and there's a spring coil in the center there, and that will open up the coil, and you can take it right off, like so. I'm going to string the crimp on one end and bring that down to the beads. Get my cheater glasses here. And then I'm going to take the other end, and we're going to pass that back through the crimp. And then, if possible, we're going to pass it through a couple of the beads. Let me get it back through the crimp. There we go. And I can tighten it up later, so I don't need to worry about it getting tight. I think this is going to be heavy duty. Oh, yep, I did get it through the doubled through the check pearl, so that's good to know. So I'm going to take it to their 2 or 3. One more. It's just needing a little bit of wiggle room, wiggling, because it just needs to be right on that hole for the second one to get through. Okay, maybe I'm pushing my luck, and maybe I should just, we'll just have it go through 2 then. Okay, now on the other side, so you could pull these in opposite directions. I'm going to get it through at least 1, if not 2, of the beads also. The reason is I just don't like to cut my tails right next to my crimp. In general, the larger the bead is, the larger the hole is. So it would behoove you to keep the larger beads next to your crimp. Come on, go through. There it is. I can feel it. Go through, go through, go through. I'm on camera, don't you know? Oop, I see the little tail out there. Come on. Keep pulling. Keep going. I just need a little bit, and then I can go grab it with a needle nose plier to pull it on the other side, which I have right here. Grab that tip. There we go, and I'll pull it through. Manhandle it. Okay, we're going to assume that that is going to be just fine, just having it go through 1 bead there. All right, so now I've tightened everything down by pulling these 2 strands apart. Your crimping plier. It's been a while since I've done a crimping lesson, so let me show you this real quick. You've got 2 holes. When you close it together, you've got 2 spots, indentations here. Notice that the front one is just 2 ovals. So it's, how do I do that? It's like this. So it's going to round things. Whereas the second one, this top piece here, there's a little divot. So you want to use that second hole first on your crimp. And so you're going to bring it right back here. And you're covering the entire crimp with that second hole, and you're crimping down. You're closing the pliers down. So what that has done is it has created this divot in your crimp. And so now what we want to do is fold those 2 pieces on either side of that valley over. And so we're going to hold this at a 90-degree angle from where we were before. So we want to bring this front part in, and we're holding it like that. And so that the wide So the divot is in the center, and the wider parts are on either side of the jaws. And now when I close this down, it is going to fold those two edges together. Well, if I don't fumble it, like so. Voila. And so now that it completely folded in half like that, and it is now completely crimped. And now all you have to do is cut off these tails, like so, and like so. Boy, these cutters do not like to cut, let me tell you. It's been a while. I guess it's time for these to get sharpened or gotten rid of or something. There we go. All right, so now you've got the one crimp on this entire big long length of pearls, and trust me, you're gonna see, at first you're gonna be like, I'm gonna see it, it's gonna drive me crazy, but you know what, you're not gonna see it. So you can wear it singled or doubled, and of course you don't have to make them this long either. If you just want it big enough to go over your head without a clasp, you can do that too. So it's a simple way to make a continuous necklace when you don't have a clasp or don't want to use a clasp. It's great for some of your elderly relatives who might have some dexterity issues with clasps. Make some continuous necklaces for them. They will be so appreciative. Happy beading!